Okay. What's going on, LBHT Crew B? What is going on?
What's going on, man?
Man, I got here in the nick of time. Man. It was gonna be a game time decision whether or not I was gonna be here at 7:15. I barely made it, but everybody's here.
What's up,
Glad
good
you guys
legend?
are here. Hope your week is going well. But
My guy Shug in the chat. What's up,
Shug
Shug?
is here. What's going on? Alex
What's up,
Stark, what's
Alex
going on?
Stark?
Thanks for coming through. We got
Zeke
Zico Kage.
Hokage. What's going
That's
on,
what I'm
man?
talking about. Thanks for coming through, Zico Kage. I'm
What's
sitting
up,
here playing
Derek?
around with my microphone. Eric is in the house. Our man E.
What's up, E?
Yeah. I didn't miss your call, man. I texted you. I told you we're getting ready for the show. Yazar is in the house. What's going on? Raven Ron is in the house. That's what I'm talking about.
What's up, Yazar? Raven
Yeah, man.
Ron.
So yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Have a
to Vegas.
safe trip.
Yes. Safe trip. Safe travels.
Tony Hendo. What's going on?
Hendo. Jake P.
Jake P.
Okay.
Thank you, Jake.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. So yes, guys, gals, hope you're having a great week. But if not, hopefully it starts getting better right now. It's we're about 25 hours away. 25 hours away from the start of the NFL season.
Mm-hmm.
The Panther season starts on Sunday. Ravens start on Monday. But we're going to be discussing all things today. Our man Eric L is in the house. Greetings, brother man. I hope is almost excellent. Yes, it is. It is.
Sir. King of
Pugo, what's going on? Our man Brandon Buck is here. Interested in hear about Bell, Le'Veon Bell. We're going to talk about Le'Veon Bell, and we're going to talk about people's opinion on Le'Veon Bell as well. We're going to discuss that. That wasn't something I was planning on talking about, but we're going to talk about that. But yeah, okay. So look, we have a lot to talk about, man. We're going to be discussing we're going to discuss the Ravens, Panthers games. Obviously, we're going to give you our projections for the year, records, and who's going to perform and all that stuff. And yeah, we'll talk Le'Veon Bell. We can talk Mark Andrews' contract. Our man, Living Legend, is here. Yeah, man. Yeah, we're going to discuss all that. But first, we like to start our show with a Black History fact. Yes. And B has a Black History fact for you.
So, just a little info about a black cowboy by the name of Nat Love, who was born a slave after slavery was outlawed. He decided he kind of wanted to go out and make a name for himself. He won a horse in a raffle. He took the horse back, sold it back to him for $50. Won the same horse again in another raffle, sold it back to him again for another $50, took his $100 home, gave $50 to his parents, put the other $50 in his pocket and said, I'm going to go out and make my name in the world, right? So, he goes west and he's working, he's wrestling, working as a cattle driver and everything, just kind of living that cowboy life, right? One day he's out there, chasing after some wayward cattle, trying to round them up. And he runs into some Native Americans, gets into a little scuffle, maybe took some shots and was captured. I think he embellished the number of times he was shot, but he was wounded and he was captured.
Look, the live men get to tell the tales, right?
So, they took him back, and he said, that the only reason that they didn't kill him is because he was, he's mixed, right? And a lot of them were, they were mixed as well, right? And so they said, they kind of took a liking to him. They nursed him back to health. They wanted to have him join the tribe. They were trying to get him to marry the chief's daughter. And he was just kind of going along with it for several months till he got, healthy again. And then he stole a pony and got up out of there. Then he went on, he went out to Deadwood, and, he entered like a rodeo contest, won every event and got the nickname Deadwood Dick. This is replacing his other nickname of Red River Dick. Not the best nicknames out there, but that's all right. He said he trained himself to be a marksman. He was one of the best shots around. And
so he says.
Yes, so he says, but ain't nobody around to say otherwise. And after a while, he kind of saw that the cowboy way was gonna come to an end with expansion and everything, and so he retired from that and started working like security and things like that. The reason I bring him up is one, despite what you would see in westerns, 25 to 35 to 33% of all cowboys were black. That's not something that you really see represented in westerns at all. And also coming later this year, Netflix is putting out a movie called The Harder They Fall, where starring Idris Elba, Regina King, Jonathan Majors, and Jonathan Majors is going to be playing Nat Love in that movie. So just a little background on the character. I don't think the story in the movie is real, but that's okay because I don't think a lot of the stories Nat told in his autobiography are real. But
most of the westerns that you watch.
Yeah. So if you want to learn a little more about that character prior to that movie coming out, there are other real life characters in there as well. Like I said, Nat Love has his own autobiography, but you can just go ahead and Google Nat Love and some of the other characters there to get you prepared for that movie coming out later this year.
Yep. All right. That was a great Black History fact. All right. Let's see what we got here. Jerome Bigby's in the house. What's going on? He said, about to start my cardio workout. Great timing, fellas. All right. Well, hopefully this show will get you going. Some of the topics will get you going. Oh man, Davon is in the house. Hashtag LBHT.
What's going on, Davon?
Davon from the DJ and K Show. Make sure you guys subscribe or right. Actually listen. Well, listen with your ears. Audio podcast. It's an audio podcast. Okay. Yes. You can go on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to audio podcasts. That's where you can find the DJ and K Show. Wow. Raven Ron, what's going on with that, man? Man. Miles Boykin, just no love. Yes, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. These are great facts, man. These are fun. All right, guys. Where do we start here? Do we want to start with, okay, we want to start in order? You want to go with the Panthers game and then the Ravens game, and then
sure.
And then we'll do our predictions.
Yeah, and because later on in the show we do have a special guest coming on as well.
Yes,
to talk about how a lot of you maybe can lose some money this weekend.
Yes, because while me and B aren't.
Thank you, Majan.
Yeah, thank you, Majan. Thank B. Me and B aren't gamblers, right? No. We don't know much about betting odds, whatever. But here at the LBHT show, we recognize there are a lot of degenerate gamblers out there. And you guys need your fix. So we're going to have somebody come on, an expert, if you will, that will help you guys hopefully make the right choices. Okay?
Yes. But right. First, we can start off talking about the Panthers' big-time revenge game, right? Big time. We got Sam Darnold, Robbie Anderson, Frankie Luvu, all going against their former team, the New York Jets. The Jets have a brand new coach in Robert Saleh. They drafted a quarterback, I believe he was second overall, and Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
So they're kind of making over that team. They went out, they got Corey Davis, they got Elijah Moore. Denzel Mims is actually going to play this year, it looks like. It's going to be, I think, a good measuring stick for Carolina, right? Because New York has some talent on both sides of the ball, but we're not talking about like the Ravens kind of depth or anything. And particularly on defense, they've been hit pretty hard by injury. Carl Lawson and Vinny Curry both out for the season, but they still, they got C.J. Mosley, they got Quinnen Williams, they got Marcus May, so they do have some talent over there.
And a defensive-minded head coach.
Yes, and that's the thing. I think they're going to play better on that side of the ball than people are expecting, because I do expect them to be a well-coached defense. Other side of the ball, obviously, like I said, you got Zach Wilson. Everybody's interested to see how he does. They got a decent offensive line going on there. It looks like they're naming Tevin Coleman, their starting running back this week. But so a remade offense over there. And in Carolina, obviously, we got a great young defense, a lot of talent on that defense. And we got a great deal on defense because the other side of the ball not looking great. They have the wide receivers. They got Christian McCaffrey back, but at quarterback and O-line, really nothing but questions. Starting right guard, John Miller, he was placed on the COVID list, so he's not going to be playing.
Right.
The good news there is that it's not much of a drop-off from Miller to the backups. The bad news is you're not going from like a 10 to a 9. You're going from like a 4 to a 3. And so it's, we really want to see how the offensive line performs. If Sam Darnold is going to be able to go out there and be calm and make good decisions and make good, accurate throws, because the wide receivers are great. Christian McCaffrey's great. They brought in Dan Arnold. Everything's looking fine there. But like I said, I think it's going to be a good measuring stick to see where Carolina is right now, because the Jets aren't the worst, but certainly nowhere near the best. So if Carolina's a good team, they should be able to handle them pretty easily, you would think, right?
Yeah.
My expectation for that game is going to be, I think it's going to be a close win for Carolina. I see the Jets winning if Zach Wilson is able to really just play out of his mind, and I don't think he'll be doing that in his first game. But I do think it's going to be a fairly close one.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I saw 13-7. Somebody put in the chat. 13-7. I can see it being a close win for Carolina. I'm trying to see who put that in there.
Let me see. Oh, what's up, Godson? Thanks for coming through.
Godson, what's going on? We got Sterling. What's going on, Sterling? Thanks for coming through. But I think
Deshaun
defense
13.
Oh, Deshaun. Yeah, look, first time head coach and like a second year head coach. Both of them, we assume are trying to build their teams through defense. Well, one is obviously right. Matt Rule's obviously trying to build through the defense. Robert Saleh, who's an excellent defensive coordinator, we think he's going to try to go that same route. He got his quarterback, but and a better O-line at least than what Carolina has. Mm-hmm. So there's a little advantage there. But I think Carolina's defense is going to be really good this year. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be the difference in the game. So yeah, defensive struggle, but they might have the quarterback. He said, I want Sam Darnold to throw 450 yards, 4 touchdowns, all for Brodny.
Thank you,
Shig. Yeah. I think, yes, Darnold is obviously a concern. The O-line is obviously a concern, but you do have the better skill positions. I think that will help make but will be the deciding factor in the game, I should say. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It could very well be. I'm nervous to see how Darnold actually performs. He looked good in his only extended play in the preseason against Pittsburgh. He had a nice game. But I really don't expect the offensive line to hold up. But like I said, they got DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall, Christian McCaffrey's back. And then on that defense, they've got a lot of playmakers on defense. They just drafted J.C. Horn. They got Jeremy Chin, Brian Burns, Derek Brown. So I think they'll be able to do enough to win. I'm not expecting a fully cohesive, and good performance out of them from week one.
Yeah. All right. Felipe Moreno says 21-7. Mm-hmm. We got Dre the Great says 21-17. Okay. All right.
What's going on, Mikey?
Oh, good. What's up? What's going on, Mikey? Off the Record podcast. Make sure you check them out. You can also subscribe to them. They do an audio podcast. Listen with your ears, guys. With your ears. Audio podcast. Also, they're on YouTube, so you can subscribe to them on YouTube as well.
Raven Ron wants to know how many yards we're giving Terrace Marshall in his debut. I am going to give Terrace. I think he has a good debut. I'm going to give him 73 and a touchdown.
Wow, 73 and a touchdown?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I can't see it. So, how many yards do you think Sam Darnold's going to throw for?
75. No, no, I'm going to say that Terrace Marshall Sam Darnold. I can see him in the 250 to 270 range. I think they're going to want to try to hold it down a little bit and lean on Christian McCaffrey. But I do see Terrace Marshall maybe getting loose for one big play.
But see, yeah, it's possible. It's possible. He won't. I don't think he'll get targeted that much. I think yes, Christian McCaffrey will get a lot of targets. I think Christian McCaffrey might 40 to 15 Panthers. Woo!
Okay, and Darnold with 3 touchdowns. Okay.
Wow. Listen, this is a big game for Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Out the gate, he has to show that the Jets made a mistake and that yes, he can play, and that the Panthers didn't make a mistake. All right. This is huge. He doesn't have to go out there and play great, but he should be motivated to go out there and play great. He should be. I think, 250, 270 yards passing. A lot of that is going to be to Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. I just don't think Terrace Marshall would get that many targets. He could end up with a touchdown though, because you're right. He could slip that. He could get behind the defense. He could be somebody that's not going to be the focus. He won't be the focus. I mean, he won't be the focus, and he's done pretty well in camp and preseason. He could just go out there and show out. So that's not a bad prediction. Not a bad prediction. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say 24-10 Panthers.
I'm giving them 2017. Carolina wins 2017.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So like I said, I think it's going to be closer than it realistically should be, but that's just because I don't trust the O-line and I don't really trust Sam Darnold at this point.
Stella said 75 yards would make Sam Darnold the Ben Simmons of the NFL.
There you go. So that was spot on.
Tony Hendo says 17-6.
Okay.
Andre Mears, what's going on? He says, "What's up, LBHT?" Yes. Your boy ABC Def is not feeling Sam Darnold. I feel you. Prediction pain. That's what Suge says.
Yeah. So I guess we can move on to the Ravens and the Raiders.
Okay.
What's your take on that one?
Well, first,
with new arrival Le'Veon Bell.
Well, my first take is I should probably put up our graphics. I'm just off today. This is what happens when I come in here at the last second. You didn't even say nothing. Don't even act like you saw. You didn't say nothing.
I'm not wearing my glasses. I did not see anything.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Before we get into that game, while I try to get set up here, B, first of all, go ahead and post that link one more time to where people can donate to the show. If you want a highlighted comment, because we're growing. Okay, you guys have been showing up. Appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Mm-hmm. All right, we're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, but as we grow, we're not able to hit every comment like we used to. We used to be able to read all your comments, and you guys have been so generous wanting to donate. B just put in the link there, a way for you to donate. That's our Streamlabs. That's what we use as our super chat. Since we're not super chat enabled, you can either do Streamlabs or right above B with the Cash App, $ LBHT Show.
And
okay.
Speaking of, we did just get a Cash App, an anonymous Cash App. It says for most excellent work, big timers. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yes. So those are ways, and then another way, if you want to be an ongoing supporter, right above me, patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right. So those are a couple of ways you can support the show. We appreciate it. In the meantime, go ahead and hit that like button. Also follow us on our social medias at LBHT Show, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We've been getting a little bit more active. We're getting better at that stuff. All right. So go ahead and follow, and it's a good follow. All right. That helps support the show. Yes. Okay. So let's bring it up. No. Yep. Ravens versus Raiders. The Raiders. Is he on the air? The Raiders. I haven't watched ESPN in so long. Appreciate that, guys.
He's on ESPN Plus. They won't let you get away from him.
Yeah. Okay. Ravens versus Raiders, man. Monday Night Football. Let's go. There's a look. I think we're gonna win pretty handily. I'm not saying we're gonna win by 40 or anything like that, but I think at least 2 touchdowns we win by. All right, I'm giving you my prediction up front because let's be real. Let's look at the Raiders roster. Young talent, You know, but look, Derek Carr is hit or miss. Sometimes he's okay. He's not bad. You got Henry Ruggs. You got who's the other rookie they drafted last year? It was two of them.
Brian Edwards.
Brian Edwards. Yeah.
Obviously Darren Waller out there.
Darren Waller. Yeah, and you got Josh Jacobs. So on offense, they're straight, but they just gave away their O-line. They had a good O-line, but they gave away like 2 or 3 of them. Just let them go. So that's gonna be a problem for them. On defense, well, look, did they add anything?
Yannick Ngakoue.
They got Yannick. Yes.
They got Corey Littleton.
Okay.
They got. I mean, is that not enough? I don't know. Like the defense isn't looking great. It's not looking great.
Defense is a struggle.
Denzel Perryman.
They might have some other young players that we we don't know about, but nobody great. Let's just be real about that. And they were awful last year. That's what kept them out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
their secondary is terrible. Up front they got Max Crosby,
KJ Wright, Gerald McCoy. Yeah. Gerald McCoy used to be nice. He ain't like that anymore.
Yeah, but they're big time players again. Ngakoue up front.
Max Crosby,
pretty much.
I mean, yeah, I see Philip.
Casey Hayward. They brought in Casey Hayward, but
yeah, these are guys.
They drafted Trevon Moehrig was the guy they brought in on defense.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah. The
work
safety,
in progress. Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Work in progress.
There are some guys you could look at and say, hey, they might be all right, but they're not gonna show it in this game.
Listen. You say that, but let Yannick Ngakoue line up over Villanueva. Then we're having a different discussion.
I think he's going to terrorize Villanueva or whoever lines up there. Max Crosby. Yeah. No, he's no slouch. No, Max Crosby's no slouch, Raven Ron. But
he ain't no star either, though.
Right. Exactly. I know we have concerns with our O-line, but Rodney Stanley is the best tackle in the league. He's the best tackle in the league. Now, he's come off an injury. You got to see how he holds up. But if Stanley's out there, I'm not afraid of who's rushing from that left side. Now, Villanueva, we got questions about, right? Left guard, we got questions about. Did they name a starter? I'm not even sure if they named a starter.
I don't think they've officially named one yet. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so there are some questions there, but the O-line, I think it'll hold up in this game. This is a good game to see what we need to tweak before we go play Kansas City. But other than that, our defense is going to shut down.
Davon's normally so nice. He just called Yannick Ngakoue irrelevant.
Wow. Yeah. He is irrelevant to the run stop, though. He's never been a run stopper. That is true. Which is why he's not going to be that effective in this game. Ravens have old men rushing the passer. Yeah, but the Raiders don't have an O-line.
Okay, so we did just get a donation on Streamlabs, and our guy Shug he wants to transition a little bit here. He says, "Here to show the best damn sports show on YouTube. But now that I've been nice, Bell is not going to be any help to the Ravens without a good O-line. He hasn't performed since leaving the Steelers. Okay, I think it was a good signing for all the injuries you have."
All right, we're gonna get to the Bell thing in a second. Let's give some quick
because
yeah, appreciate it, Shug. Appreciate it. Let's do some quick predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Quick predictions. I'm gonna say 31-17.
What up, Garnett?
What's going on, Garnett? Watching over on Twitter. Appreciate you.
What's going on, Justin?
What's going on, Justin? Thanks for coming through. Stopping by before I go watch AEW and get ready for our after show. Yes, and Justin is part of the Let's Get Ready network, like our man Ferris. Mm-hmm. All right, so make sure you check them out. He's a sports fan as well. Hit the subscribe button, like he says, man. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate you, Justin. Yes. Raven Ron says 28-6. Ravens. Tony Hendo says 45-10. We're gonna get him out the paint. Yes.
Wow, Tony.
Welcome to Vegas. That's what he's gonna say.
Coming out firing. That is another thing to consider, right? Like anytime somebody opens up a new stadium, the league schedules Baltimore, and Baltimore shuts it down. Right? Baltimore is undefeated at the other team's homecoming.
Felipe says, "Hot take. Oweh gets a sack."
Like the fact that you think that's a hot take tells us everything that you need to know about what you think about Oweh.
Listen, man. Oh my God. Listen. Oweh needs to get a sack in this game. This is going to be one of the worst O-lines we play. 38-14. Okay.
Holy Ravens.
Here we go. Troll alert. Troll alert. Get out of here, Justin. Listen, go on.
much like Carolina and New York, I think it's going to be closer than most people expect. And the reason I think that is because their O-line isn't settled, right? They don't really know what's going on at left guard. I'm sure they're uneasy about center. They're uneasy about right tackle. And I think they're going to just run all day long. But I do think they win. I think they control the game pretty well. I think that it's going to be – I'm going to give them 28-17. A little bit closer than most people think.
Dre the Great wants to know who's guarding Waller. That should be Queen. It'd be a mix between Queen and the safeties.
Yeah,
I would assume.
The answer is probably nobody.
Probably nobody. The thing is, when you play against great players, the answer is nobody's going to stop them, right? You cover them to the best of your ability. They're going to get theirs. That's just what it is. But they can't. They're not going to kill you, right? Do we think Mr. Action Jackson will have at least 3 or 4 passing touchdowns and around 280 passing yards? Yes, I do.
Like I said, I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna throw enough for him to really do that. I mean, I say that, right? But last year or a couple of years ago, he had 5 touchdowns on a little over 20 attempts. I think they're going to focus on the run game. I think they're really going to go out there and see what Gus and Tyson Williams can do, because they're going to want to know that moving forward, because they just signed Le'Veon Bell. They want to know if they need to bring him up to the active roster or not, or if they're fine with those 2 guys. So I think it's really going to be about the run game on Monday.
I think it's going to be the opposite. I think because this is a weaker team and they know they can handle them, they're going to want to see if they can establish a passing game early, right? And if it doesn't, if they struggle, it's not a big deal. They can revert back to the run. They know they do that well. But this is a good game to see if the O-line is going to hold up in passing, or they got to tweak some things, because
I would agree with that if they weren't missing their top receivers, right? Like, you got.
Well, I mean, Bateman is the only one that's not playing.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, they're top receiver, Rashad Bateman.
Well, you said receivers.
Miles Deadwood Dick Boykin. All right, I don't know why y'all gotta act like that's no big loss. Who's gonna open up the holes for Gus? It's not Miles.
But no, Prochet's gonna be out there, so I don't know what you're talking about.
That's true.
Yeah.
King, man, listen, King. I would love to see that from Baltimore too, but just not with Villanueva out there, man. Like
what you want to see
for Lamar.
What you want to see is another coaching staff. That's what you want to see.
Yeah. One passing touchdown.
Okay. Wow.
Going all out with the predictions tonight. Okay. But yeah, I think this should be a pretty safe win for Baltimore. Another reason why I think they stick to the run game is because they know they have to have this one. They can't lose this game.
Yes, your favorite wide receiver is playing Hollywood. Yes.
Because next week is Kansas City, right? Mm-hmm. And you do not want to start out 0-1 against the Raiders and then be going into Kansas City next week. So I think they're going to be uber conservative, run all day long, and just get the win and get out.
Yeah, I think they're going to take some risk. I think they know they can handle them, because at least on the defensive side, like, the Raiders aren't going to really bring anything, and they can always revert back to the run, because if they don't establish anything in week 1, they don't know what they have going against Kansas City, and they have to pass in the Kansas City game.
This is true. Just like you could go through the history of the Ravens and not put together a good five deep wide receiving core, man. Like it's been rough. It's been rough in Baltimore.
Yeah, it's never been a thing. All right, so let's answer Shug's question. Here we go.
All right, sure.
Yeah, we can talk about your guys' Bills matchup coming. There's a little projection going on here.
Are the Steelers playing the Bills?
Yes.
You taking that loss on week 1, Shug?
Oh man, yes.
That one could get ugly.
We might have to bring him on the show to vent. You might have to have a venting session for sure. All right. To answer your question, Le'Veon Bell. What was his question again?
So he said that he doesn't think he's going to play that well, and he's not going to be good without the O-line.
So here's the thing: the O-line is fine when it comes to rushing. They know their blocking schemes. It's pass protection is what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
So Le'Veon Bell. All right, guys. As you know, Le'Veon Bell was signed. He's signed to the practice squad right now. At some point, I'm sure they'll move him up to the 53-man roster. Also signed Trenton Cannon from Carolina. Yes. It was actually a surprise when they cut him because he initially made the 53-man roster, and then they cut him to bring on Royce Freeman. And well, be like, whatever. But he was on the roster. And he's a good special. Like they like him for special teams. No, not that much. But okay. There are a lot of mixed feelings about Le'Veon Bell.
Yes.
If you're talking about his play, if you say, hey, I don't think his style is going to fit what we do. Okay, I don't agree with you, but okay, I understand that. If you think I think he might be washed. He had a horrible year last year. I don't think he has anything left. Understand that. If you think, hey, Latavius Murray might be a better option, I understand that. If you're saying I think he might have be a problem in the locker room, don't like his attitude, then I got to push back. Because what are you basing that off of? Like, where has he ever been a problem in the locker room? What has he ever done for you to question his attitude or his relationship with players? The beanies looking nice. And by the way, if you want one of those beanies or you want one of these nice LBHT crew shirts, go to lbhtshow.com/shop. All right, get you one of those. That's right. So yeah, there's a perception of Le'Veon Bell like he's this diva. He might be somewhat of a diva, but a bad teammate. There's nothing to back that up whatsoever. You believe that is because you have these talking heads in mainstream media, and we always warn you on here: be careful what you listen to in mainstream media. Right? They set a narrative and they all repeat it, and then you start thinking that. But you always got to ask yourself, well, when was he a bad teammate? Right. And when you ask that question, you won't come up with the answer because he's never been a bad teammate. Right. Not that's been reported.
We're going to make an exception for you, Justin. That's for you. But yeah, I think that, it is that situation where in Pittsburgh, it's all about Roethlisberger. Right. And listen, who has been a massive dirtbag throughout his career. Right.
Yes.
But the quarterback is the most important position in sports. They've won with him. He's a legend there. He's going to the Hall of Fame. So you're not going to take anybody's side over the quarterback, even though he's out there throwing teammates under the bus publicly and everything. So you're going to paint guys like Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown like they're problems because they're not the ones that you're going to keep. Now, in Antonio's case, obviously, there was some stuff that happened in the last year that kind of justified that a little bit. And then moving on with Le'Veon Bell, he just didn't want to stay there anymore, right?
That's all.
And
and you got to emphasize the fact that he played out his contract. It wasn't like he held out or asked to be traded or anything like that. He played out his contract. They wanted to pay him. He said, for how you guys use me in the situation I'm in, you're gonna have to pay me more than that. Otherwise, I want to hit.
There was a point where he said he wanted to be paid like a top running back and top wide receiver, combined. But obviously that wasn't going to happen, right? But he's out there catching 70 plus passes a season, so you understand with how heavily they leaned on him.
Yeah.
So they made him an offer he didn't like. He decided he didn't want to play there anymore. Played out his contract. They franchise tagged him, and he just said, "I'm not coming to work. I'm not coming in. I don't work. I don't actually work for you."
Right.
Yes. I'm just not going to play for you. If you're gonna tag me, I'll just sit out the season. And then you had Steelers players coming out in the media and sticking their nose in business it didn't belong in.
Yes.
Talking about Le'Veon Bell's money.
Yeah, because grown men don't talk about other grown men's money, business, anything not related to football. Okay, that's a punk move. Okay, so I don't respect that at all. And Shug, I know you're a Steelers fan, but you agree with that too. You don't, grown men don't get involved in other men's finances like that, right? Talking about, oh, that's a lot of money. I wish I would get that kind of money, but then play running back.
Yeah. Or just get a better agent, because you're an offensive lineman. You should be making more than Le'Veon.
Who was that? Ramon Foster? Was that who that was?
Yeah.
That's a punk move, man. Like it's his. First of all, let's explain for those of you who don't know. If any, I know we got some young people in the audience. If you don't know how the franchise tag works, right? You play your contract, and at the end of your contract, if you don't work out another deal, the team gets to place a franchise tag on you, meaning you can't sign with anybody else other than us. We own the rights to sign you, right? So they place a tag on you, and they have to pay you the average of the top three. Is it top 3 or top 5 players at your position?
Yeah, top 5.
Right, for that year. And if you say, okay, I'll agree to play it, you sign the tender, and then you're part of the team. You get that money, right? You're not part of the team until you sign that tender. They tagged you. You can't go anywhere. If you could, sometimes they let you talk to other teams and work out a deal. And if they work out a deal, then that team has to give the team that tagged you compensation. Usually, it's first round picks. So that's why players don't like being tagged. Really, teams don't like placing the tag because it eats up a lot of your cap space, right? So Le'Veon was tagged, and he didn't sign the tender. So he was never a part of the team. This wasn't an issue of him abandoning the team. He wasn't a part of the team. He wasn't part of the organization. He just couldn't play anywhere else. They tried to hold him hostage and call his bluff. And he said, no, I'll take a year off. I'm good. I saved my money. And I got no problem with it.
And fans and media don't like it when players take their career in their own hands, essentially.
Right.
Fans and media want to say, hey, you got franchise tagged, so you play for the Steelers. So you have to come in because that's just the way it works. Hey, they offered you a contract. Hey, it's a lot of money. You should just take that because you're a Steelers running back. You shouldn't be asking for more. You shouldn't say, hey, I want to play somewhere else, et cetera. And so, from then on, he's got that rep that almost like he's a bad person, right?
Yes.
And it was just that I don't want to play for the Steelers anymore.
So I saw a tweet from Ross Tucker today, and he's like, I have 2 thoughts, about Le'Veon Bell. And the first thing was, oh, he's a bad businessman, because he took a worse deal for the Jets. What does that have to do with him playing football? Right. And you don't know. Look, a bad deal for who? He didn't want to be in Pittsburgh. Right. So what if he took less money? So what? It was a better situation for him, or at least he thought it was a better situation for him. That's his business.
What's going on, Solomon?
Hey, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through. Like there's been a lot of players that talked about Ben Roethlisberger and how poor of a leader he is, kind of what kind of dirtbag he is. And after Le'Veon leaves, you have that brush up with AB and Roethlisberger. Like, they didn't come from nowhere, right? You even Clark, Ryan Clark, who's not friends with AB, doesn't like AB, even said, no, Roethlisberger not a good leader, man. Like we've had meetings about him, right? Roethlisberger is a problem, but he's the quarterback. He's the star of the team, so he gets to stay. But you have a running back that said, hey, man, I'm tired of bailing this man out, right? I'm tired of working with him. I just want to go somewhere else and do it quietly, and you want to hold me hostage. Look, if he was such a bad teammate, why did the Steelers try to trade for him back that following year? I'm not sure how many of you guys know that. When he went to the Jets and Jets decided, hey, this is a dumpster fire over here, we're going to do a fire sale on everybody. The Steelers offered to trade for him back, and they're like, nah.
We're good. Big Ben lost some weight, so he's a better person now. He also lost some arm strength, though. So
yeah. So, but okay, so that's just in terms of how he is in the locker room. As far as his play,
yes. I believe guys asking, do we really think that Bell's washed?
I don't know.
I don't think that he's washed up. He's not. He's obviously not the player that he was. Right. Yeah. I mean, he was arguably the best player in the league for a couple of years. He's not that now. But I think he can still play, and certainly in a role like in Baltimore where he's not going to be the workhorse. Because again, in Pittsburgh, they ground him down as much as possible. Yeah,
there's nobody else they were using. He was the main guy. So I don't know how much he has left. I know last year he had a bad year, but I think just a bad situation, right? And then he went to the Chiefs, and the Chiefs already had their situation. So no, they got it. They have a young running back over there. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Indeed, saying Le'Veon has mainly played with less mobile quarterbacks than Lamar and barely played with Mahomes. I'm curious to see Bell as a second or third halfback and mainly used as a pass catcher in the Ravens offense. I think he can excel at it, honestly.
Yeah.
But, depending on what happens on Monday, like I said, I think that's going to be kind of an audition for Tyson Williams. And if Tyson plays well, we may not get the chance to see, Le'Veon in Baltimore too much.
Yeah. So, and that'd be, look, that's a good problem to have, right? Yeah. That's a good problem to have. So
what's up, Click One? He's saying the Chiefs and Jets just don't know how to use him. And listen, the Jets were awful when he was there. Like, no running back was going to survive in that Jets offense. And in Kansas City, he was a bench player, right? And he said him and Andy Reid kind of butted heads, and they didn't really see eye to eye, so it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I think he's still got something left, and then I'm interested to see him play in Baltimore.
Because here's the other thing too. If he's half the player he was, right? Playing with Lamar is going to make him look like the player of old. Because Lamar gives any running back a boost.
Yeah.
Any running back, right? That's why you and I aren't as high. Like, calm down. Like, we like Gus Edwards. We're not as high. What's going on, man? We're not as high on Gus Edwards as most people are. We don't, we like Gus Edwards. Hey, thanks, Justin. Yeah, thanks for coming through. We like Gus Edwards, but we think Lamar is a big reason for his success, which is fine. It works. I got no problem with it, right? But I think the same thing can happen for Le'Veon Bell if he's not completely washed. Yeah. I think he comes in here and he still has a little bit left. He's going to look like old Le'Veon Bell.
Felipe, I don't think he's going to be active on Monday. I think they're going to stick with Trenton Cannon and put him on special teams and just see what they have in Gus Edwards and Tyson Williams. If it doesn't look great, I think that's when you'll see Le'Veon come up.
Tony said, not Justice Hill. Listen, man, Justice Hill didn't look. You give Justice Hill the same amount of carries. I bet you he starts looking like it. All right.
That's right, tough.
Yeah, well, Justice said, like it up. Hit that like button. Yes, guys, we're 43 minutes in. We have 34 people in here. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new here, also subscribe.
There's only one thing the offensive coordinator in Baltimore knows how to do, and that is run the ball.
Yeah. So, okay.
But yeah, he needs to be gone though.
All right. Real quick, let's talk about Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews got extended.
Yeah, let's make it real quick because we got to give our season predictions, and then we're going to bring on our guest.
Yes.
It is 8 right now. So real quick, Mark Andrews. So my take on Mark Andrews, I'm not going to say that he was overpaid or didn't earn it, didn't deserve it, or anything like that. Congratulations to Mark. That's a big time deal. Really happy for him. He seems to be, really happy in Baltimore, wants to stay there. Just personally, I probably wouldn't have given it to him. I would have saved that. But we're looking at a situation where they just passed on $15 million a year for Julio, right? I would have just given that money to Julio.
Yes.
Or another wide receiver. But again, that's not to say that Mark doesn't deserve it. That's just kind of a personal preference thing.
Yeah, and you look at it and say, well, he's young and he's one of the better tight ends in the league. All true. But I don't care if Julio only has 2 years left. We're trying to win right now. Like, my thing is be all in right now, and stop trying to make plans for the future. You don't know what the future might hold. But look, Mark Andrews is one of the top tight ends in the league. Yes, he's a step below Waller and Kittle and Kelsey. That's all right though. Fourth best. That's fine, and that's who's available to us. Those guys aren't available to us. Yeah. So I'm all for it. Congratulations to him, and that's not a bad move. We locked down one of the better players on our team.
Jake said Hayden Hurst is still sick from the Hayden Hurst got that first round money though.
I'm still sick from that Hayden Hurst pick.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was bad. King of Pugo says 450 total yards for Lamar. Another opening game feast. Man, hope so. I love watching Lamar ball out, man. Love it.
All right. We got to speed it up because we got to get our guess. Do you want to do guess first and then?
No, I think we can just run through the predictions and then we can bring them on.
Okay. All right. He knows when to come on, right?
I'm gonna.
You'll let him know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Panthers season predictions. Let's go.
Okay. So we're gonna
wait. Let's before we look. We have to mention we've done a video, right? Our early and reckless season predictions that your fan base just hated. They hated us for it. They called us haters. And I said, calm down. We're just having fun here. Okay. This is just fun time. Relax. Okay. We're not saying this is what's gonna be. We're just having fun right now. We're overreacting a little bit to the draft. You know, you guys still love Sam Darnold. Just give it time. And now we're here. Okay. Now we're here. We're the week of one. I want to ask Panthers Nation, especially the ones that watch those videos and give us those thumbs down. How do you feel now? How do you feel now? I saw a lot of people. They were really high on Sam Darnold. Now they're not as high. Record prediction. We want to do record prediction. We want to do what else?
We're gonna
performers.
We're gonna do MVP. Offense, defensive player of the year, offense and defensive rookie of the year
for the league.
For the league.
Okay. All right. Sorry. So we'll start with the Panthers season prediction. Let's do record and then give we gave a breakout candidate or something last time.
Yeah. So for the Panthers, I'm looking at a strong start to the season. They got the Jets, they've got Houston in there, they've got Philly. Not great teams. So I think they start out fairly well, but unfortunately, I've got them taking a 5-game skid into the bye week. They got Atlanta. You got New England, Arizona, Washington, Miami. I have them losing all of those. So with that in mind, I have them finishing the season 7-10, which is a little better than I thought. A month or two ago, but yeah. I just not a lot of faith in Sam, not a lot of faith in the O-line, and honestly, not much faith in the coaching staff. So I'm saying 7-10 for Carolina. In terms of breakout players, offensively, it's kind of tough. Most of their offensive weapons are established, but I'm gonna throw it to Dan Arnold there. I think he has a very nice season. I think he's a good red zone weapon, despite Carolina's struggles in the red zone. I think he plays pretty well this season.
I just want to point out that in our fantasy football league over on patreon.com/LBHT Show, this guy right here has got Dan Arnold on his team.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's 'cause I passed on him.
Yeah.
But, defensively, it's kind of a cheap pick because we all know he can play already, but we're talking about a breakout, and I'm thinking it is going to be Brian Burns. I'm expecting a huge year out of Brian Burns. So I'm taking him as the breakout player still.
Okay, all right. Tough Puppy says Derek Brown on defense. Okay.
Yeah, Derek. He played well last year. I think we all kind of expect him to play at a high level. But that's a nice pick also.
Pugo says Terrace Marshall, standout rookie. I like that. All right, so my record wasn't that far off. I think I had him going maybe 8-9. 8-9. I'm going to do a little better this time as well. I'm going to say 9-8. 9-8.
Okay.
How would you feel about that, Panthers fans? B, how would you feel about that if they went 9-8? Because I don't think 9-8 is going to.
I would feel like if they drafted Justin Fields, they'd be in the playoffs. That's how I would feel about that. If they went 9-8, I'd be very upset. I would be very, very angry if this team went 9-8 and they passed on the franchise left tackle and the franchise quarterback in the first round. I would not like that.
I think this defense is going to be serious. I think it's going to be tough. And they are going to will it to a 9-8 record. They lost a lot of games close last year.
Yeah, they had a better quarterback last year. And listen, I factored the defense into them.
Worst defense, though.
Into them getting the 7 wins. I factored that in. Okay. Because if you're telling me that you're going to rely on a defense where all of the best players have 3 years experience or less, and most of them less, I'm going to say you're going to lose a lot of games.
I think offense is going to sound weird because we're not Sam Darnold fans. Oh, Eric L says Sam Darnold comeback player of the year.
Man, listen, I hate the fact that you can give people comeback player of the year just because they sucked the year before. But I'm going to say no, Eric. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I didn't even think about that. For
Dak is comeback player of the year.
Yeah. I don't think Sam Darnold's going to have a good year, but I think DJ Moore is going to be the offensive player on that team. Right.
Yeah.
I know you're thinking, how could it happen if Sam Darnold's gonna have a bad year? You see that happen all the time.
Yeah.
So I think DJ Moore, contract year for him too, right? I think this is his contract year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got the option year, but yeah. Felipe asking who's going to win the division. That's Tampa. I think Tampa runs away with it a little bit.
Yeah. JC Horn 6 picks this year. Raven Ron says, yeah.
I can see that.
I agree with Brian. I agree with you, B. Brian Burns is going to be I'm getting ahead of myself, but Brian Burns I have for the defensive player of the year, defensive MVP.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to Baltimore. The season record predictions. I'll throw mine out there real quick. I've got Baltimore going 13-4. I know that we've been kind of critical of a lot of the moves they've made. That's with an eye towards the postseason.
Yes.
Their schedule is pretty tough in the second half of the year. I have them starting out 6-1. I believe it was. They have a really, really tough schedule the second half of the year, but they're one of the best teams in the league. So I think they come through it pretty well and finish out the year 13-4 and win that division.
Yeah, similar record here. 13-4. 13-4. Actually, no. No. I'm going to say 14-3. Oh, 14-3. You know why? Because
let me answer Felipe real quick. If PJ Walker plays, they win 4 games.
Jermaine Carter, breakout defensive player. Didn't he get cut?
No, man, he's starting.
Oh, okay.
What's up, Attitude Pop? 14-3 or 15-2. Okay.
You know what? 14-3. 14-3. We're gonna have 14 wins again, just like Lamar's MVP year, because Lamar is gonna be MVP once again.
Yes. That is actually, I have that pick as well. I made that pick earlier in the offseason, and I have not. I'm just emboldened by what I saw from Lamar when he came back and started practicing and everything. He looks great. So I'm going to say Lamar, wins him his second MVP.
Like B said, I know it sounds like we're all down on the Ravens. We're very critical. We are, because we believe they can win a Super Bowl. But in order to win a Super Bowl, you have to do the things necessary to get past those other teams that are Super Bowl caliber, like the Chiefs, like the Bucks, like the Bills, right? And I don't see us doing enough yet to do that. So we got to play the games. We got to see how it goes. But I have no doubt about Lamar. Lamar. Healthy, he's got a little bit more weapons. The O-line, we'll see how they look, but he looks like he improved from last year, and he's going to improve a little bit every year going forward because he puts in that work. He has that work ethic. He has that drive. I have no doubts about Lamar Jackson. And Hollywood, healthy. I think he's going to have a breakout year too. I think he's going to be over 1,000 yards. Honestly, I think he's probably be the top wide receiver on the team. Right.
Okay. So moving forward from there, I'll give my picks for offensive and defensive player and offensive and defensive rookie. Offensive player of the year, I'm going to say Christian McCaffrey. I think they're going to lean on him a lot in Carolina this year.
Wait, you're talking about for your team or
no, for the league. I think Christian McCaffrey can get it. I think he has a huge comeback year. A lot of people are kind of counting him out. So I think he comes back with a huge year, wins offensive player of the year. Defensive player of the year, I'm going with Chase Young out of Washington. I said that Brian Burns would have a big year, but not quite big enough. I think it goes to Chase Young. And also, Carolina is Carolina. They don't get a lot of love nationally. Christian does, not so much the rest of the team. And Washington, I think, is going to be in the mix to win that division, which is, going to put Chase Young over the top. Offensive rookie, I'm going with Zach Wilson. I'm not super confident in that pick, but everybody who's been watching him says that he looks great. I believe in Robert Saleh. They've got some nice pieces around him, a pretty decent offensive line. And if he has even an all right year, they'll give it to the quarterback, right? And I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to be good enough with Urban Meyer to get that offensive rookie of the year. Defensive rookie of the year, I'm going with Micah Parsons out of Dallas. All reports are he's the real deal, and he's going to rack up tackles in Dallas because that defense is awful.
Although I heard that he got beat by the fullback in practice.
Ain't no problem. All right.
Okay, those are good picks. All right, so MVP, we all agree it's Lamar Jackson. Offensive Player of the Year, is it usually a different person?
Yeah, because the MVP is just a quarterback award now.
Okay. So if it's another offensive player, I'm gonna say Alvin Kamara.
Okay.
I like Alvin Kamara because I think Jameis is going to have them competitive. And if they make the playoffs, Alvin Kamara is going to be a huge reason for that. I'm going to say Alvin Kamara. Yeah, the Ravens going 17-0. Okay, Jason, I like that.
He's tired of the hate.
All right. So offensive player of the year, Alvin Kamara. Comeback player of the year, I'm going to say Jameis. Do I got to tell you why? I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna not tell you. I'm gonna show you why. This is why right here. Okay. James is gonna be a comeback player of the year. Defensive player of the year, I'm going with Brian Burns. I said that earlier. Brian Burns, I think this is gonna be the year for him, man. And look, I understand I understand Carolina's a small market. They don't get as much attention, but he's got the Spider-Man pose. Okay, that gets national attention right there.
It was when I first heard that, I was like, all right, whatever. It's pretty cool. I love it.
And especially after he does it after sacking Tom Brady, that's gonna get picked up.
Yeah.
So Brian Burns, offensive rookie of the year, Justin Fields. Justin Fields is on a better team. Justin Fields on a better team. He's got the better weapons, and I think he's a better quarterback.
The only reason I didn't pick Justin Fields is because he's not starting out the season. I'm not sure exactly how many games he's going to play, and Zach's going to be out there from week 1, so I figure they give it to him. But I would not be shocked at all with Justin Fields.
And defensive rookie of the year, I'm going with J.C. Horn. That's right, I said it, J.C. Horn. Okay,
I can see that too. I think he's going to get thrown out a lot, and I do think he's going to have a good number of interceptions, but I think he's also going to have a good number of pass interference penalties. So we'll see. That's
not going to hurt him. Not going to hurt him. Okay. All right. So those are our predictions. And now, what do we want? What do we want to call this segment? I didn't even have a name for it. Betting odds.
Sure. We'll let Derek. Come up with a name if he wants. So we're gonna bring on our guest now. You all know him. He's always in the chat. We got Derek Weatherly coming on to talk some good bets, the best bets of the week. What's going on, Derek?
What's up, going on, fellas? I'm gonna be coming to y'all every week with 5 games, both Carolina and the Baltimore Ravens. I'm also gonna be hitting y'all up with the primetime games Sunday, Monday night. And if I find a game of the week that I like, that's what I'm going to be highlighting. That could be a good matchup. You might see odd line movement with the spread. The number of things you might look for, because in some instances, you're not talking about necessarily picking who might win the game. Yeah. And that might be something you're looking at. Okay. And so as far as this upcoming week, typically you won't find me making many plays or making much action on a Thursday night game. Right. They're too unpredictable, and typically in the betting scenes, you like trends. You like things you can count on. Consistency goes a long way. And when you talk about Thursday night games, That is the one thing you do not hear about.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Outside of the first game of the year, Tampa Bay and Dallas,
mm-hmm.
you might not see another Thursday night game out of me. That being said, going into this game, I highly doubt the Dallas offense is going to be clicking. You've had no live, I don't want to say live drills. I hadn't been following the team that much as far as day to day, but Dak has no rapport with his wide receivers. He hasn't gotten on the field in any sort of game action. That kind of rust, you going up against one of the top defenses coming from last year, returning all its players.
Yeah.
There you go again, talking about that consistency. You're not guessing what guys are, going to do what. No, you saw them do it last year.
And also with Dallas, you've got Zach Martin, looking like he's going to miss the game after he tested positive.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a blow for them as well. In the middle of that line, dealing with Ndamukong Suh and those guys.
See, and that's another thing. You start looking at injuries and things like that with the matchup with the Cowboys. You got Tom Brady going up against that defense. Even if he doesn't go for a stellar game, I don't see him making the kind of mistakes that it's going to take for him to lose that game. So in this game, I saw the number open when they originally released week 1 numbers a couple months back at around 6.5. You find that number right now floating around 9.5, maybe closer to 10 by tip-off. Looks like America's team is not America's team coming this Thursday.
King of Pugo agrees with you. He says Cowgirls are getting walloped.
Yes. And also, that being said, if you do think the Cowboys are better than predicted and, maybe that number should have been more around that original 6.5, 7, and you think, getting 9.5, 9, 10 points might be the difference, maybe a 1-score game, maybe they lose by a touchdown. That's a possibility. But as far as me, I will be taking Tampa Bay I got it at -6.5. So that's what I'm going to be paying attention to. But like I said, if you go out now, you might find the number around 9, 10. And me personally, I wouldn't take that number. I would just, let it pass.
All right.
Coming to the Carolina game, as you see, I'm decked up in my gear, representing like
That's
you
right.
do.
That's right.
I will be in attendance for all home games this year with the Panthers, so I will be able to give you live perspective at some of the things going on the field, maybe some of the things you don't see make it on television. Going into this game, there's a lot of question marks. It's that simple. On both sides of the ball. And it being week 1, not having a lot of data, not having things to look off of, I don't give much weight to preseason. It's good if you're looking at your team, trying to know the ins and outs of your own team, but outside of that, you don't pick up much from preseason, in my opinion. And so I would be looking at the offensive line struggles. I believe y'all already mentioned it, how Miller for the Panthers, he'll miss the game because of the COVID list. You do have some, I don't know if it was injuries specifically, but, a couple players on the New York side defensive missing. But I feel that their front 7 is going to be a challenge for our offensive line.
Yeah.
You put a quarterback like Sam Darnold, who still hadn't gained his footing in the league, look shaky. That doesn't spell a recipe for success. I will be taking the Jets +5, though I feel this game will come down to a field goal or whoever's got the better defense. And in my opinion, that is the Panthers.
Yeah.
And so I think when it's all said and done, that +5 is going to be, Jets lose, but cover on the spread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, coming to another game, I noticed that I liked where, as before I mentioned, the spread might be something that stands out to you. The Vikings versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I found it at -3. It seemed to hold pretty consistently there. Bit small market teams, you don't see as much public action, so you might not see a number move as much as you might see with some games. Tampa Bay being, a prime example. You got Tom Brady on one side, Super Bowl champs. You got America's team on the other side. That's going to bring in a lot of action. Minnesota versus Cincinnati, it's not the same story. But at -3, I'm pretty sure that Minnesota has the offense to come out and do what's necessary to win by more than a field goal. On the road, Cincinnati, they did what seems nothing to improve their offensive line struggles. You got Joe Burrow, who's returning from injury, so there's not really anything concrete you can look at there to make any predictions off of. And so we will be seeing, a lot of things firsthand, but I don't think they have the weapons. I'm not big on Joe Mixon. I don't see him having a good season, to be honest.
Okay.
In this game, I think Minnesota has a good enough defense to limit what Joe Burrow could do. And they have a strong enough offense where they'll win by more than 3. I see this game possibly being a 7-10 point spread, or not point spread, but a 7-10 margin victory when it's all said and done.
Okay.
All right.
And then you come to Sunday night game, who I believe is
Rams. Bears and the Rams. Yes.
Yep. There you go, King of Puga. Answer the question.
This, I believe, is going to possibly get ugly. I saw the number open around 7.5, I believe, maybe 8. It's currently at 9.
And you said Justin Fields isn't playing, right?
Yeah, the closer we get to Monday night, we might see this number break double digits.
Okay.
And,
wow.
In the NFL, that's
a blowout.
That's not spreads you typically see. In college, you'll see a 20, 30-point spread. But yeah, in the NFL, you see double digits. That's really saying something. So that that'll catch a few eyeballs. That might make you think about taking the points going against that favorite because you don't feel they're going to lose by 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in this Rams game, I really feel that Darnold and their defense is going to just make a lot of havoc for the Chicago offense. And then as well, like Chicago, I don't see their defense being much. I think Stafford is going to excel being in a better offensive system and what seems like a better coaching system.
Mm-hmm.
He never struggled with the pieces put around him. If anything, he made players around him better. Now, yes, he did have Megatron for a while, but
the ginger quarterback.
But yeah, he seemed to make players around him better in his time in Detroit. And so now being in a better situation, I think the Rams are the better team. And, even at 9 points, I'd still take them. I don't see – I'd be shocked if the Chicago Bears score 14 points, to be honest.
Wow.
Not a lot of love for Andy Dalton in Derek's household there, I see.
Hey, and that's coming from somebody that actually has him ironically on a fantasy football team. So I didn't technically make the pick.
That's gonna be another. That's gonna have to be another segment. We'll have to give like weekly updates on our fantasy football league and let people know what's going on there. Derek is also in our league.
Yeah.
And now that brings us down to the Monday night game where we got y'all's Ravens. Who, I'm glad to have them on the sheet. I'll be honest and true with them as I am in the chat. It's a 4.5 point game. That's what's up, man.
That's what's up.
But yeah, we got a 4.5 point game playing at Vegas. it being a road dog favorite like that, something to always keep in mind is potentially, home field advantage does affect the spread. It's an actual thing when people say home field advantage is worth 3 points. That is literally a thing for the most part. So you are actually talking about potentially being a 6.5, 7 point favorite if this game is being played at Baltimore. So 4.5, I really like the number there. Even with the running back issues that Baltimore has had, I have my doubts about their offense and ability to move the ball. I think some of y'all predictions are a little out there, but if Lamar does have an MVP-like season, that is more than possible for them to reach. That's right up there with Jose mentioned Brian Burns for Defensive Player of the Year.
That's
I
right.
was actually on this pick early before. If you're in the Discord, you see some of the stuff that I put up. Plus 6,600 Defensive Player of the Year, a bit of a long shot behind players like Chase Young, I believe.
That's right.
Aaron Donald, maybe.
Dude in LA, the Rams. I'm drawing.
Yeah,
Aaron Donald.
Yeah, but he's the leader at last I saw. But either way, if Burns has a 12, 15 sack season, you are talking about the type of season that'll have you in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. And it's just that simple. If you don't actually have the season, you won't be there. So if you feel strongly about something like Baltimore making the Super Bowl, Khalil Mack's another one, yeah. But if you feel strongly about the Ravens, winning the conference or something like that, you may not like the number you see looking at a prop bet like that, but you might like the number you see on a Lamar Jackson to win MVP because it very well could take a MVP season for them to achieve those things.
Right. Right.
So, there's a lot of ways you can look at things and see correlated movement and how not just, it's not just the public that drives some of these numbers, but it's actually, things that occur on the field. Before preseason started, the Panthers were somewhere around plus 3,300 to win their division. Come, it was roughly about a month ago, maybe even 2 weeks ago, the number had moved, and the numbers have gotten even longer. They are plus 4,000. Not a single game had been played. All people saw was preseason and off-season talks and things like that. Now, you didn't see as much movement on a player like or a team like the Ravens. A little bit more consistency there, even though they lost a player like J.K. Dobbins. So, yeah, these are just things that you can look at and potentially keep in mind as you're looking for numbers. Because one thing I always do keep in mind, at no point in time is this telling you to bet, but not making a bet can still be a good play. And that's what you're looking to do. You're looking to make good plays. Now, yes, if it's your team and you want to put some money on your team because you're a fan and, you want to rep your boys, nothing's wrong with that. But if you want to approach it from a strategical side and use the information, that's out there and available, you don't have to pay for some service to tell you stuff. I'm not here giving you any information you couldn't go and look up for yourself. I just happen to be a sports junkie and enjoy doing it. And so, the opportunity came about, and now I'm here, hopefully maybe informing and educating some of the LBHT crew, and if nothing more, adding to the entertainment.
That's what's up, man. Right. Hey, Derek, man, we appreciate you coming on. Hey, you're going to be seeing a lot more of Derek in the future. Hey, appreciate you. And we're going to see you in overtime show, so we'll see you shortly. All right. Oh, you brought, there you go. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that's our man, Derek, man. Listen, I hope you're taking notes because he knows betting. We don't.
Yeah.
So
I've placed 2 bets in my life. I lost both of them. So,
yeah. Good information. And King of Pugo says Derek seems low on the Ravens. He's not low on the Ravens, man. Like, you gotta understand when he's looking at it from the outside, right? Fans of teams have a much brighter outlook on their team. Okay. Yeah. And he's giving you a realistic look from the outside of our team. He's not down on them. He's just seeing it how it is. You know, like, he's pointing out things that may not be so obvious to us as fans. And I know we think, hey, we got the inside track on all these guys, and you know, nobody knows Gus Edwards like we know Gus Edwards. No, but he knows Christian McCaffrey, right? Mm-hmm. He's a Panthers fan. They're not the same. Christian McCaffrey's on a completely different level. Dalvin Cook is on a completely different level. Derrick Henry's on a completely different level, right? So they're looking at it like that. Like, yeah, you got a good running back, but like, he's not those guys. And again, it's not a shot. It's just they're calling it how they see it. The same way we look at other teams, you know.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah. And again, you know, it's not even about whether or not they're going to win or lose. It's about whether or not they're going to cover. You know,
right.
It's a
that's what he's looking at
whole
too.
different conversation.
Yeah. And tell Puppy, yes, if you are not subscribed to Lunch Break Hot Take, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hit the subscribe button. Okay. Do it right now. Hashtag road to 1K. Yes. We are. Look, we'll give you guys a couple minutes for bonus time because we didn't really have it. A couple minutes. Type what you want in there. We'll discuss it real quick, and then we're gonna fire up this. We're gonna fire up this overtime show. Where's my graphic? Man, I'm all over the place today. I ain't even have my graphics up today. There we go. If you want to be a part of the overtime show, patreon.com/LBHT Show. And I can tell you right now, we're going to be discussing more Ravens and Panthers and other teams, because I know our man Ferris is a Giants fan. I know Caleb is a Dallas fan. Mm-hmm. I know Suge is a Steelers fan. Suge is waiting right now. Okay. Suge is probably in our DM saying, yo, link, send it. He is waiting. If you have never experienced the overtime show, I mean, you can ask some people in the chat. It's worth it. Yeah, they'll tell you it's worth it, man. We talk about anything and everything. It gets a little intense sometimes, but it's always fun. It's always a good time. Attitude Pop, you posted this question like 5 times, man. I see you. Did y'all notice Lamar Thorne got a lot tighter and more accurate? Yes, I have noticed that.
Yeah, we mentioned it a little while ago. Yeah, he's looking fantastic. That's part of why I feel so comfortable saying he's going to win that second MVP this year.
Yep.
You know, he's kind of taken the critics' words and you know, gone to work on it and answered it. You know, he came back throwing it to outside the numbers, throwing it downfield much better. You know, and you know, like you said, throwing the tighter spirals. You know, better ball placement, everything. You know, and he looks a lot more serious. You know, not like overly serious or anything. You know, obviously, Lamar goes out there, he has fun, but you can tell he's got like a kind of a different attitude about him. So I think he's going to have a huge year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, look, last year was his down year. He was like 4 touchdown passes away from hitting 30 touchdowns, right? That's his down year. Yeah. I mean, and you got an extra game this year. No, I'm sorry. He's going to be the guy.
Yeah.
It is worth it. That's right. Mr. Jada Six can tell you. Yes. And Ferris, yes, we didn't even mention Ferris. Ferris is always he's always lively.
He's very passionate.
Yes, he's very passionate about sports. All right. We're gonna wrap this up. I said I was gonna give you guys a couple of minutes, but oh wait, hold on. Tell Puppy's got a question.
Thoughts on my award predictions. Russell Wilson or MVP. Yeah, I mean, look, I like it. You know, last year he was kind of a front runner. And then, you know, they just went 100% passing and he kind of took himself out of it with some interceptions. But
he's always in the conversation.
He's one of the top quarterbacks in the league for sure. Dalvin, if he stays healthy, is a strong pick for offensive player of the year. Myles Garrett, I certainly hope not, but obviously he's got the ability, right?
Yes, yeah.
You know, Kyle Pitts, I think that's going to be a tough one, man. I think it's tough. You know, historically, tight ends don't put up numbers as rookies, and also he's going to be on an awful team, and he's going to be going up against a few first-round quarterbacks. I don't think he's got a great shot at it, but you know, he may be one of the best players from the draft. Joe Tryon, you know, again, when you start talking about the rookie of the year, the big name, I think plays into it a lot, and Joe just doesn't really have it. So I think he's again, may have a great season. I don't think it'll be enough, to propel him to a defensive rookie of the year.
I mean, there's too many good players on that team as well, like for him to really shine. I think it's gonna be one of those things after the Bucks make, they make another run or not, and a lot of those, Brady retires and some of those other players go elsewhere. Then he'll have more of a shot to shine. But like right now, he's not gonna. I mean, I'm sure he'll do fine, but he's not gonna really get a chance to really ball out like that.
And he's out there with a couple of the best linebackers in the league.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
He'll be overshadowed.
Yeah.
Comeback player of the year, Dak. I think Dak gets it. Burrow, I don't like what I've been hearing about Burrow over the offseason. I think he'll be fine in the long run. But I think Dak is going to come out hot from day one. I think he's going to run away with comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
Coach of the year, McVay.
He'll be up there.
He'll be up there for sure. I don't know. It really depends, because what you're really going to be looking for a coach of the year is a team that you expect to be bad, who's much better. So like, a Robert Saleh type of coach, if you look at the Jets and you're thinking, 4 or 5 wins, if they win 8 or 9, that's a coach of the year candidate, right? Yeah. Everybody kind of expects the Rams to be a top team. So I think it's going to be tough for him to really get that award.
Kyle Shanahan, I'm not a Kyle Shanahan fan, but he's going to be in the runnings too, because he's got a healthy team this year. And he's got his quarterback, and I think the 49ers are going to be really good, man. I think they're going to be really good. So he's going to be in the runnings for it too.
Yeah, I understand you're not basing it on name. I'm just saying that's how those awards get handed out sometimes.
You asked for our opinion, man. We're giving you our opinion.
Jason got MVP Josh Allen. That's a strong pick. Yeah.
He had MVP numbers last year.
Listen, Devontae Smith, I think he's going to have a really, really tough time, man. He ain't got no quarterbacks over there.
And no weight.
And no line. and they're going to be losing a lot of games. That's going to be a tough one.
No body mass.
JC Horn, that's a strong pick. I think he's going to have a lot of interceptions. Devontae Adams, that's an interesting pick there. I mean, that's Aaron's number one guy. He's going to put up huge numbers. He's one of the top wide receivers in the league, so for sure. TJ Watt's not even going to play this year, apparently.
TJ Watt wants his money.
They don't want to give him his money, but obviously, if he gets out there, for sure, one of the better defensive players in the league. Tavon Young for comeback player of the year. I would love to see it. I don't know that he can stay healthy for a whole season and get it, though.
All right. Okay.
And coach of the year, John Harbaugh.
Now, okay, let me navigate for a second. Eric L says the same thing here. He says, what about Harbaugh for coach of the year? Ravens win 14 and Mr. Jackson wins MVP. I can see it happening. So many mixed feelings, because I feel great if Lamar won MVP again. I feel a little sick if Harbaugh got coach of the year, because I want him out of here. Now, look, if he wins a Super Bowl, winning heals all, right? If he wins a Super Bowl, okay, fine, whatever, right? You got a quarterback that's a 2-time MVP at that point, and we win a Super Bowl. It is what it is. We're winning, fine, right? Yeah. But if we have 14 wins, Lamar's an MVP again, and we lose in the playoffs, and he was coach of the year, I would be sick. That would disgust me. King of Pugo says Stafford will let them down. I think you're right.
Yeah, I agree with that, King. I agree.
Look, Stafford is a good quarterback. He's had some good numbers. He's had some of the best players in the league, or best wide receiver ever to play, and Calvin Johnson playing with him.
Have a godly year. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Lamar's gonna have a godly year, but Matt Stafford, yes, he's a good quarterback, but it is hard for me after 13 years of watching him not win any significant games at all. Say they're gonna go far with them, right? Is he gonna have a good year stat wise? Yeah, I think so. I think so. Is he gonna perform well? Yeah, I think so. Are they gonna win the playoffs? I don't think so. I don't. I think they might even be good enough to get out of the first round, like to have a bye. Well, actually, no, because But they are. They're good enough. They're good enough to get that by.
Yeah, potentially.
But they get in that second round. I don't see them winning it.
Right.
So, all right. So all right. So I'm gonna read this. Real quick. Add to pop. Did y'all hear Stephen A today? He said Lamar's not elite because he's not a good thrower of the football under pressure, and I really feel like this year is going to be special for him. Add to pop. We did hear that, and we are going to talk about that in the overtime show. All right. You see how I did that? And if you want to be a part of overtime show, patreon.com/LBHT show. Go ahead and sign up right there. We are going to get this thing started. Guys, I appreciate you coming through. Tomorrow is the start of the season. We made it. All right. We probably won't live stream tomorrow, but we'll be on. Follow us on social media. Okay. Yes. At LBHT Show. We try and get our followers up everywhere.
Yeah, Twitter, we're not going to be live streaming tomorrow, but our guy Ferris is going to be live streaming over on the Let's Get Ready Network. Make sure you guys check that out.
Yes, if you're not subscribed,
streaming with Caleb, the Cowboys fan. You get to see Caleb lose it a bit because Dallas going to get ass kicked.
Before you get off, before you guys log off, go to Let's Get Ready Network. Subscribe. All right, set your reminders. All right, they're going to be live streaming tomorrow. Check them out. All right, we're going to be in that chat room over there. So hang out with us. All right, put in hashtag LBHT crew. Let them know that you're representing. All right. All right, guys, we're getting out of here.
False.
Start of Hendo want that belt. We didn't even. You guys were supposed to remind us to bring the belt on this time. Remind us next time, man. All right. Okay. Let me get this outro out. All right, y'all. Have a good night. We'll see you later. Peace out.